they could get their elbow over the rim.
I've been there. I've gotten to the free throw line. You get some block, you get to the free throw line.
No, you're right. Stop. You have to keep going. No, you're exactly right.
And apparently Cauley Stein received credit for that block. His second. Kentucky with 3 rejections thus far.
It's not like a sack. You can't get half a block right there on the team.
You're calling for a change of the rule. Johnson. Kentucky defense. There's been space. Devin Williams from straight away. Willie Cauley Stein now has 3 blocks. Very quiet at the offensive end, but 3 block shots, and Kentucky with 7 rejections as a team. There's the lob. West Virginia type victory.
It certainly was. They were playing guys more their size, less dominant, young backcourt. They were able to take advantage. Now going forward, you take a look at this Kentucky team on the road to perfection, on the road to history. Remember Notre Dame back in 1974 at Notre Dame.
7-footers basically coming at him all time. So you're going to see a lot of little fadeaway jumpers, and I think that's the right decision. Normally you'd say you don't want to be fading too much.
Ulis, 2 more for Kentucky.
That's where they just overpower you. It could very well be a mixture of the Final Four, even though they're all in the way here if they were in different brackets. Yeah, but I'm not so sure. Just looking at this team in person, I think one of the ways you play them is you put 3 guys in a triangle underneath the basket, and you let 2 guys out front defensively roam their best and try to find the shooters.
Johnson backs his way in and gets 2.
Because you can't. And they've hung together, though, Hampton. Give them credit. Just looking at their bench, the guys on the floor.
Sure have. There's another Kentucky basket.
Back to Portis. Got Cauley Stein in the air and drove for that shot.
Tough shot right there. They made him take a tough shot. Young kids out there, watch Ulis. His head's always up. He's always looking at people. He's not looking at the ball. Has great vision on the floor.
Kind of like you when you're working the crowd before the game. Always have your head up. Dakari Johnson. Pull up by Ulis. Dakari Johnson with the foul.
There's the size difference. Well, they have a bunch of players, though, that are number 1. Here it is again.
No bounce out. Dakari dunked up and trying to lay it in. Dakari Johnson asking for it against Chris Walker. And now he's got him, and he bumps his way inside and scores.
His first deuce of the day. Wes Murphy's brother played here. Alex started his career at Duke. The logjam in terms of too many players at Duke. Transferred him mid-season. Alex's dad, Jay, a standout at Boston College, later played in the NBA and then overseas. 53-45, Kentucky. We approach 6 minutes to go. Second half. Johnson bumping bodies with Murphy. There's the hug from
Dakari. And slap it back in his face. I don't know what he was doing there on that second shot. And the foul is going to be by Dakari Johnson. Gaines have led that category.
Looking for their 27th consecutive win here after the school's best ever start. And Dakari Johnson. Auburn downing the screen on the pick and roll, and Ulis trying to make lemons out of lemonade.
I really think to beat Kentucky, we'd have to have an extraordinary superhuman type effort. There's not a lot of margin of error. And there's
Booker, that's where his game has gotten better. He put it on the deck, and Dakari Johnson
pulling away and now has their largest lead in the game.
Dakari Johnson couldn't finish, did on the second attempt, Sean.
A wee bit higher today. Now closing in on 64% for Kentucky.
Dakari Johnson inside with a nice quick.
Guys count, and that's the guy. It's a future Hall of Famer.
Harrison throwing it up top for Johnson. Could not corral it. He's able to snare it in a fresh shot clock. Right back to Dakari. Just bullying his way inside.
It's not again the way to win. Duke battled them after getting beat by 30 in the NCAA championship game the year before. So that knocked off that conversation. But that team was special. Larry Johnson, Stacey Augman, Greg Anthony, Anderson Hunt, George Ackles. Pretty good memory, man. Look at this. Look at this execution.
South Carolina gets to 40 points. He went to Madison Central and Richmond. Did Dominique Hawkins. Dakari Johnson with 2.
Dakari gets in deep. times have you seen teams able to throw the lob against the size of Kentucky? Not too often, my friend. Not too often.
Lead back to 8.
That's the second lob we've seen.
Johnson, this time a spin, drop step, and a nice move to the hoop.
See that?
Here's Lyles against Hornsby. Tough drive. Tipped in. Underneath by Dakari Johnson. To think about the shot clock. 5 to shoot. Quarterman spins, fires, and didn't hit the rim. Would have been a shot clock violation had Kentucky not gotten the ball. And now it's Dakari Johnson.
What a way to run the court, the big guy.
Came up short. That time he got it off the window. He used that strong upper body and his shoulders to bounce off of Willie Cauley-Stein.
Dakari Johnson, another big body. Down low, working against Kessler with the left hand.
And you know, Coach Calipari's...
You know, we've seen Kentucky a lot this year, you and I. What do you make of the way the Harrison twins have been playing?
Well, I think that they've done what they've had to do to win. Game.
We'll get Seth Greenberg's thoughts on it in a moment as well. Tigers lead for the first time tonight. Here is Trey Lyles. So white platoon is on the floor right now. Lee, Ulis, Johnson, Lyles, and Booker with 9 on the shot clock. Ulis picked up on the switch. Lyles off to Dakari Johnson, who just found himself free. Averages 8.
Survive foul trouble. This is a team that can survive an injury and play through their mistakes because they can run at so many different guys at you that they come at you in waves.
Dakari Johnson finishes at the rim on the feed from Harrison. It all started at the other end.
Booker with a tough contested 2. Johnson there for the rebound and the stick back.
And there's the off.
Here's the chance. Boy, Marcus Lee with the long arms. Pokes it away. Booker back the other way. To Johnson. He lays it in.
Found a way to get to the shot blocker's body.
Look at Big Dakari outrunning Damian Jones for the throwdown. Well, those are those moments that has these scouts, and many of them, a dozen or so here watching this one tonight. They're all jotting down their notes right now. Lyles to Johnson.
Personal foul. He was on top, had that big game in that rivalry win against Louisville earlier this year. He kicks it back out to Ulis. Nice speed, great passing by the bigs. As tough win in Louisville today. Now a little full court pressure by Alabama. You like this move by them to try and change the tempo a little bit?
You got to try and speed the game up, and you got to see if you can get a deflection or get a turnover. You cannot grind it out in the half court against this Kentucky defense for 40 minutes. You got to find a way to get in transition and loosen them up.
Ulis running the point. The white platoon in the ball game. Ulis had a notion from the corner. Now Johnson on the block, and a great drop step with the left hand.
Alabama's hand here. He's got Kessens on him, who's a little bit smaller. Not give him the basketball again, and let the big fella operate.
Ulis goes right to him, as you said, Kara. Weight room. That is a weight room. Coach actually asked him, hey, you actually hoop? Randolph said ankle's okay. Always feels good on offense. Here's Harrison. Nice feed. Johnson with the punch. High end, it's unreal. People feel it all day long.
How about the most famous concert that never was here? Elvis passed away before he was supposed to come here in August of '77. That would have been 24,000 in standing room only, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So again, the white platoon is in there for the most part.
There's that zone right now trying to match up. The missed shot really sort of struggled.
Nice drop step by Dakari Johnson.
Johnson did put away a lot of those offensive goals. That shot right off the backboard.
Not sure he called that one, but he'll take it. Finally gets off the schneid from the floor. That's 1 for 11 in the field for Williams.
Maybe you're 0 for 10. You take them any way they're going to go down,
You're
man.
darn right.
0 for 10. You're going to take them any way they go down. He's going to watch this Kentucky team.
Booker, nice feed to Johnson this time, and a drop step with a left hand.
Having their way inside. Nice little jump shot.
The elbow, no good. Dakari Johnson with a foul.
There it is again.
Beautiful shot. Right on the doorstep.
And he's got 8. Able to go one-on-one against Johnson that time, Kevin. And with Paulie Stein not out there and Karl Anthony Towns both DQ'd because of fouls, takes away some of that size and length in the paint.
Miles tries to sneak one inside. He does to Dakari Johnson.
Set the tone for the level of energy that they're going to play with, not whether shots go in or don't go in.
Coach Cal talking to Haley Hartsound going into the locker room, so he's going to nicely ask his players for some energy, and I think they have responded. Blocked by Johnson. Here's Harrison. Back to Dakari. His lay-in is good. Only one win in Rupp. That was back in 1998. There's Paulie.
Offense. Blackshear spins into trouble and another turnover.
Well, it's Kentucky that's been stronger defensively, getting steals, knocking the ball away. Well, if you show that ball, it's gone.
Booker 8 for 9 from three-point range in his last 2 games.
Set that high ball screen. Good pass.
Lyles into Johnson, and it's good. A 4-point.
What's he complaining about the calls?
I thought he was paying homage to my coach, Tarkanian, chewing on a towel.
Yeah, I did too. Very good.
That's what came to mind for me.
Dakari,
because I want a place where I can get a lot of playing time, but they bought into it, and it's fun to watch.
Antoine, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the game.
All right, thank you.
well, that's terrific, Greg.
It is. And he hits on the head what was so impressive about this. Most kids wouldn't want to play with this much talent because
Tokajo. His passes have been off here today. Going into the game leading.
Aaron Harrison to the paint. Dakari Johnson muscles up. It's so good.
Basket, seen the drive. You have to see bigs as they roll to the basket.
Sometimes you wonder, it must be impossible to miss a big like Willie Cauley-Stein, all 7 feet of it.
It's good to have guys like that to pass the ball to. Makes the game much easier.
Look at this lob. Not a great look. But there to pick it up is Dakari Johnson. Nice cut. Kentucky had 4 blocks in this game in about the first 2 minutes. Dakari Johnson running the floor. Dangerous pass to Aaron Harrison. He left it short. Dakari Johnson there to Biggs.
Yesterday, extremely competitive as they do a lot of scrimmages. But it was the players that really had to buy in for this whole thing to work. And Andrew Harrison told me, didn't think it would last this long, but he said, we're winning, aren't we?
Who picks up the third, and Jay goes to the bench 15 seconds into the second half.
That's a huge play right there for Kentucky to get Jonathan Holmes out of the game.
They go smaller as Yancey is back in. Eula steps in. I don't know if Lambert was trying to trick the officials into giving him the foul instead of Holmes, but it is on Holmes. And Dakari Johnson gives Kentucky the lead.
Well, Tyler Hudson kicks it. They put Kentucky into rotation rebounding. All of a sudden, you're blocking out somebody that is not your initial guarding assignment. And Kentucky's not done a good job in rotation rebounding.
Johnson from the free throw line. He's had a very solid night as well.
Raced by Willie Cauley-Stein.
Amazing. One of the top scorers in the country, hardly touching the ball. Johnson makes his move with the left hand. Just like it. There's a 3 on the way. Aaron Harrison missed that one. Lyles tracked down the rebound. Aaron, a pass. Johnson.
Just to go with this platoon system. I think this is relaxing for him to finally have 10 guys that can compete at practice. And that excites him more so than anything, the competition that he has at practice. Being patient on offense.
Nice look. And Booker took away a rebound.
He got smoked on a rebound. Number one thing on the scouting report. Yeah, they got all his size and everything, but you best find Devin Booker right now.
Every time in transition half court, you cannot lose him.
Nice post up to Dakari Johnson. he is locked in right now.
And as a shooter, you just need to see one go in. I mean, they all feel good, but once you see one go through the basket, nice finish by Dakari. They have played hard, but they've been competitive.
That last possession, though, as you see Dakari get it deep again, just can't stop that. But the last possession, Booker couldn't save it. Johnson, the big, running the floor. At the end of the half, he'll go with the other entity, so it's the white platoon that starts things here in the second half. There's Dakari Johnson with the spin in the first 2 of the final 20 minutes. And Alston.
If I'm in the Patriot League, I'm really concerned about Boston University, I'll tell you.
Pretty move by Dakari. Margin for error against these Wildcats is so...
13-point lead for the Wildcats. Booker open again. Too strong offensive rebound. Dakari Johnson. And now all 10 Kentucky players.
A really good offensive rebounder. He's going to get better and better. He's a pro. And the early foul, so he has played sparingly in this one despite starting. A slice stagger action that was defended very well by Kansas. Johnson. And the jump hook. Johnson, another guy, has long.
Wasn't upset with their hustle plays, but more than anything, he says they have to drive to pass, not just drive to shoot here in the second half.
And Jay, I know you feel they've got to move the big men of Kentucky around a little bit as well. Right?
I don't think they can let those big guys just camp out in the middle of the lane. They've got the big guys from Kansas have got to get out, set some ball screens, move those guys around, and then they can attack.
It is the white platoon. It starts the second half for Kentucky. The blue platoon started the game. Dakari Johnson trying to back down Jamari Traylor, and he succeeds.
Rule to block your shot.
I like it better when Perry Ellis is out there putting some pressure on Willie Cauley-Stein out front. If you let those big guys just pick you apart. Johnson, a sweet feed from Harrison. Andrew Harrison pulls up. Follow good by Dakari Johnson.
That's going inside out against the 2-3 zone. The follow attempt by Lee, no good. But they get the second one to go. Ford lost it. Kentucky, no field goals over the last 5+ minutes. They need a bucket. Johnson muscles his way in. 17 points, Kentucky lead.
Well, Kentucky has done what it needed to do here today to pick up the victory. Not necessarily, as you mentioned, in the way and the fashion in which people expected. In the second half, Coach Kell will be more pleased with the effort.
Nice left hand by Dakari Johnson.
You talked about the fact they may be better on the second shot. That's because they get more opportunities. And Alexander couldn't find the range on. Here's Lyles again. Booker on a kick out. And he couldn't get it to go.
Grand Canyon also starting home and home series with San Diego State and the University of Louisville next year. They're playing 20 home games this year. Unheard of for a school that's not in a major conference.
Now, certainly a lot of that has to do with Jerry Colangelo, who's a big supporter of the Phoenix area in general, of this school in particular.
Technically employed by the school, and we've seen what he's done with USA basketball and changing that culture and having some impact on Grand Canyon University and their basketball program as well.
And Johnson with a shot for the Wildcats. First time we've seen number 25 there.